President William Ruto is in total panic after receiving bad news from Githunguri, his stronghold. Welcome to Kenya Lens Media, where we bring you news updates as they break, and kindly if you are new here, consider subscribing. Now, a new political shift is emerging in President William Ruto's backyard, and fresh details now show that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's party is leading in Githunguri constituency, and the numbers are drawing national attention. New details indicate that Rigathi Gachagwa as DCP party is currently the most popular political party in Githunguri constituency, a key political stronghold associated with the President William Ruto. The figures show DCP leading with the 28.4% support and President Ruto's United Democratic Alliance UDA following closely with the 26.5%. The development comes as political alignments begin to take shape ahead of the August 2027 general elections. Githunguri constituency has long been viewed as politically significant. It represented in parliament by Honorable Githunguri, and she is a member of the United Democratic Alliance. She is also widely known as a close ally of the President William Ruto, and for that reason, any shift in party preference within this constituency carries weight far beyond its borders. According to the newly released figures, Rigathi Gachagwa's DCP now leads party preference in the area. The party commands 28.4% support, while UDA follows by 26.5%, and the gap stands at 1.9% points, and it is a narrow margin. But in politics, even a small difference can signal deeper change, and the data also places Jubilee Party at 11.8%. Jubilee is associated with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and further down the list is the Orange Democratic Movement (ODM) that records 2.9% support in Githunguri. These numbers reflect party preference within the constituency as the country looks ahead of the 2027 general election. For Rigathi Gachagwa, this marks a notable moment. The former deputy president has been working to consolidate his political base, leading in a constituency closely linked to President William Ruto, adds a new layer to the political conversation. Githunguri sits in Kiambu County, and Kiambu has historically played a role in the national elections. It has often delivered significant support to leaders aligned with the region. And for President William Ruto, the constituency has been considered a friendly territory, and his alliance with the leaders from the region has shaped his political journey. Honorable Githunguri, the current member of parliament, remains the most preferred candidate for the parliamentary seat in Githunguri. Despite the party rankings, she continues to command strong personal support. That distinction is important. Party popularity and individual popularity do not always move in the same direction, and in this case, while DCP leads in party preference, the sitting MP from UDA remains the top choice for voters in the constituency. That suggests there's a complex political landscape, and voters may be expressing openness to different party identities while still backing familiar local leadership. As the August 2027 elections approach, such trends could shape campaign strategies, and political parties are likely to study these numbers closely. A lead of 28.4% does not represent an overwhelming majority. It signals competitiveness. It signals that the ground is active. It signals that political loyalty is not fixed. And the 26.5% support for UDA shows that President William Ruto's party still maintains a strong presence in the constituency. The margin between first and second place remains tight, and in electoral terms, that margin can shift with the time, messaging, or alliances. Jubilee's 11.8% reflects continued presence, though significantly lower than the top two parties. ODM's 2.9% shows limited influence in the area at this stage. Taken together, the figures paint a picture of constituency in motion, and they show a political environment that is competitive rather than settled. And for residents of Githunguri, those numbers reflect ongoing national conversation filtering down to the local level. Issues of leadership, development, representation often shape party support. And as campaign build towards 2027, these conversations are expected to intensify. Nationally, the relationship between Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto has been closely watched, and any development involving their political bases attract attention. Githunguri is not just another constituency, it symbolizes political alignment within central Kenya. When voter preference shifts in such an area, analysts also take note. And still, it is important to emphasize that these figures represent the show, or rather, what these figures represent. They show current party preference and they do not predict final election outcomes. They reflect a moment in time, and political landscapes can evolve. Support can grow or shrink, and all parties are expected to continue engaging voters across the region. For DCP, leading in Githunguri provides momentum. It offers visibility. It places the party at the center of discussion in a constituency previously associated strongly with the UDA. And for UDA, the numbers serve as both reassurance and warning. Reassurance because support remains strong. Warning because the lead position has shifted. For Jubilee and ODM, the figures may signal the need for renewed strategy in the region, and Gathoni Wamshomba's continued popularity as a member of parliament adds another dimension. Her personal support suggests that voters separate party preference from individual performance, and this pattern is not unusual in Kenyan politics. Local leadership often carries its own weight, and as the 2027 general election draw closer, party structures, campaign messaging, and grassroots mobilization will likely intensify. Githunguri will remain a constituency to watch, and its position within Kiambu County gives it symbolic importance. Its current political signals are being read far beyond its borders, and for voters, the focus remains on representation and development. For political leaders, the focus remains on building trust and securing numbers. And at this stage, the data shows one clear fact: Rigathi Gachagua's DCP holds the lead in party popularity within Githunguri constituency. It is a narrow lead, but it is a lead nonetheless, and in a competitive political environment, the differences matters. As Kenya moves steadily towards August 2027, early indicators such as these help shape the broader national picture. They remind the country that political dynamics remain fluid. They show the constituencies, once considered predictable, can become competitive. And they underline a core principle of democracy. Voter preference is never static. It responds to leadership. It responds to engagement. It also responds to changing realities. And for now, the numbers from Githunguri speak clearly that DCP stands at the top, UDA follows closely behind, and other parties trail further back. The race, however, is far from decided. Campaign seasons are long, political momentum can shift, but today's figures provide early snapshot of whether and where things started. And in politics, early snapshots often set the tone for what follows. In Githunguri, the numbers are tight and the stakes are high, and the road for 2027 has quietly begun. Thank you for following us, Kenya Lens Media, and kindly, if you're new here, consider subscribing as a way of motivating us and also promoting this platform.